Hello, hello. I
Hello.
am Dan. I'm a maintainer of Nativewind, and this is Mark.
Hey guys, and I'm the creator of Nativewind.
Yes, I am just realizing that we are not connected to Twitter because for some reason StreamYard is hitting a 500 server error. Um, I don't know what we do about that, but
We
you know,
just don't do Twitter. I guess that's
yeah,
just how it is.
we'll just not do Twitter for this one around. Yeah, so we have some updates regarding the version 5 docs. And I was going to say that, so one, I can go ahead and just quickly, which one of you is the share button? There it is. Um, yoink. So here it is. Uh, So if we just go here, you see the little like thing here. We can mess around with these fonts, but um, yeah, we can like switch to the version 5 docs. Now, I'm gonna be spending most of my time in here, making sure this is all like good, not just in version 5, but also version 4. Um, and I was gonna then treat the migration guide as basically a priority system of how to like what guides to provide. Um, But the question I was going to ask Mark is if I go through this today, is there anything I should be mindful of with respect to version
Yeah,
5? Yeah.
I've already jumped in and done. It looks like you're on a slightly older branch here, actually.
Oh,
Because I jumped onto Nikita's repo and did some changes there, I believe.
oh, okay. I'm happy to open that one up. Hold on. Or do you just want to share your screen?
Just give me a moment. Let me actually make sure I did that properly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the classic of it's on my computer and I didn't push it. No, it should be on Nikita's branch. Um,
Oh,
but I pushed to his repo, not to the main, so maybe you just need to sync your fork. Maybe fork it.
okay. So that's like Pickle Nick native, where's it? Website probably or something like this. Yeah.
We'll just link his thing
And
to you.
then
Yeah,
are you on his main branch or
on the Nikita V5 docs
V5?
branch.
Got it.
I'll just link
Okay.
you his PR that has his things.
I pulled up the PR and did the preview from the PR. That's like where I was looking at. Like what we were looking at is the preview of that branch.
I think there was a build fail, so the deploy didn't go out. Sorry.
Ah, gotcha.
The preview is a little bit odd. Okay, that explains what's happening.
Yes. Let's just take a look at that on Vercel to see why that might be happening. It looks like it just needed to be approved, theoretically.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Hussein? Um, yeah, so going to be going through, like I said, I guess I'll take a look at what you've put together here in a second. But the general vibe was like go through, make sure installation is solid. I'm finding it like really annoying actually when people like flag something wrong with the installation thing. So I'm actually like messing around with a way to automate something that basically like we have the source of truth. And those can be like rn-new at latest, like whatever Nativewind things with like bun, pnpm, npm, that kind of thing. Then have something that basically just sequentially goes through what the current documentation page for installation has, and then compare that against the source of truth. Like to just do a diff to make sure the files that need to be there are there, as well as the content that needs to be there is there. Um, but I just don't want to have to do this manually every single time, I guess is like that's been really annoying to do. And I'm not always up to date on like what's the proper, way to save a dev dependency in PNPM versus NPM versus Bun versus Yarn, and I don't like really care to be. So um yeah, I just figured that kind of like solution would be better. Maybe that's a waste of time and I should just do it manually and hope for the best.
I would just just do it manually for now and then automate
Okay.
it later. Yeah.
The classic automate it later and never
Mm-hmm.
automate it. Okay.
That means you
Um,
never needed to do it. Like if you never get around to automating it, then it was never a problem. That's my
right.
theory.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, yeah, what's new on the version 5 end though?
Cool. Yeah. So obviously, I was hoping to get it out this week. What's happened is we've had a couple of enthusiastic people who have jumped in early, as you always do, which I actually really appreciate. We've had a couple of external PRs, a couple of people in Discord jumping in and reporting issues. So I just want to shout out and thanks to those people. But the big one here is one of the things that someone flagged is they have a really big project, quite a big app, and they were trying to migrate it early, which, to be honest, I think is insane. Not even having something out yet, and someone's trying to migrate their app, and they had a little bit of a performance issue that I didn't account for. So I'm just doing one last final optimization before we're getting this out. So what we're doing now is we're inlining CSS variables. So before we would keep all your CSS kind of intact as much as possible. And so there was a CSS variable, we would process that variable at runtime. Because the
Mhm.
assumption is that there is a very slim chance that for whatever reason you want to dynamically change that variable at runtime because you could, and we allowed you to do that with JavaScript. So we couldn't statically declare whether you were going to change that variable or not. It turns out in Tailwind now, with all the changes that they've done, they use CSS variables quite a lot. And as your project starts to scale up, that performance hit starts to scale up a little bit as well, which became a bit of an issue when you have just a lot of content on one screen. It just took a little bit longer to load than I would like. It wasn't bad. It's just you could tell
Not
that there was
desirable. Yeah.
not desirable. You know, when it's just got like a couple of milliseconds extra, and you're just like, I can feel there's like something there. Yeah. So we're gonna have a new feature, and we'll have it turned on by default, but it's gonna be like the inline REM feature, where we don't use REM units. We replace them out for pixels during build time. What we're going to do is detect if you have CSS variables, and if this variable is only ever set with one single value in your entire CSS, we're going to inline that variable. So this won't affect variables that you've set multiple times because maybe you're doing them for theming or something dynamic. But if you have like a theme value of like this color is this variable, and you never ever change that value, we're just going to inline that CSS variable.
Mm.
And that dramatically reduces how much like runtime calculations that we need to do on the
Okay.
page. You can obviously opt out of this. So it's like the inline REM where you can say, look, I want to just turn off this feature. I want all variables to be calculated at runtime. Um, and you can also provide an exclusion list. So you can say, inline all of these variables except for the ones inside this array. So if there is one that you are wanting to change through JavaScript, we still give you, you can opt out of inlining that REM value.
But just understanding that you may run into this sort of performance issue.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. So the performance issue is kind of when we let it run free and do it for every variable.
Mhm.
So this is just you opening it up for a select few that you can control yourself, it won't be too bad.
Sure.
So
Um, Speaking of actually, so one, I was able to get the latest of your changes um, for presumably the version 5 documentation. Let me know if this is all the stuff that you see.
yep. If you go to the installation guide, it should have the kind of updated installation there.
Okay. We'll probably want to remove the this bit, and I can handle that
Yeah.
because we just haven't yet provided an update there to allow for that. I am talking to Danny Williams though about supporting basically being able to select different versions of the Expo SDK by tagging different like versions of rn-new, and that would allow us to it'll allow folks to basically select SDK 54 if they want. And that would make a one-liner here really easy, right? Because you would just do like npx rn-new -- SDK 54 -- Nativewind or something like that. Whereas the
Yeah.
standard will just install whatever is like the current stable version of Expo. And I think you had said that SDK 54 is delayed until after React Universe. Is that right?
Um, I don't know exactly when it's coming out, but I was pinged that it's running a little bit later
Okay.
than they initially expected, just because of an upstream bug in React Native that Expo needed fixed. I
Yeah.
don't know what the status of that is, but I'm assuming that they probably won't do a Friday release, so it'll probably be early next week. That's pure speculation and guessing of when it would be.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, we can always use the more time to get more of these docs out. Uh then one of
Oh,
the
I
things
actually
we
Expo have a scheduled live stream, if I remember.
oh,
So it'll probably be whenever that scheduled live before that scheduled live stream.
isn't that on like Wednesdays or something?
No, this is a SDK um, like walkthrough changes live stream. I saw scheduled somewhere. I don't know where I saw this scheduled, but I did see it scheduled somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, on YouTube they have a what's new in SDK 54, um, and that's scheduled for the 11th in 6 days' time.
Okay. Gotcha.
So they're probably looking for a release more like the 9th or 10th, which would be where's my calendar? Yeah, early next week, like Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's when I would like to get this out as well, just in time for that.
Sweet. With respect to the frameworkless stuff, um, it seems like we can keep that in. We just have to like ensure the user has done some stuff with respect to like Metro. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. So we still support frameworkless, but we are built upon Expo's Metro config. So if you are a frameworkless app, you can still remain frameworkless. We don't require you to use Expo. We just require the Expo Metro config. Um, so to do that, that's the only package that of the Expo ecosystem. The Expo SDK is modular, so you don't actually have to be an Expo app, and you can still use some of the Expo packages.
Mhm.
So it's just this one package that we require just that enables the functionality. Um, if I would really love if the community CLI implemented all these things, but it seems like only Expo is really doing that work. I guess it's the difference between being a company and a community managed package. Until the community CLI adds these features, we have to require the frameworkless apps to install this Expo package.
Word. The other thing was that I was chatting with just now with someone who's keeps the Expo stuff up to date in T3 Turbo. And they, are wanting also like to update to Nativewind version 5 as soon as possible. And I thought it'd be a good opportunity to collaborate to basically refer to them insofar as people who are interested in like doing monorepos with Nativewind, so that we don't have to really like do too much on that front, right? Like,
Yeah, that makes sense. Is that Julius? Is he still the
yeah,
maintainer of
yeah,
T3 Turbo?
yeah, he should be. At least that's what this guy was saying, is that Julius is still very much in charge of that. So,
Okay, cool. I think we could probably open up a PR that sets that up for people who use the
right.
T3 Turbo, or
I
at
think I
least
had
we could jump
chatted.
to the Discord.
I think I chatted with Cedric earlier this year, and even he was recommending, T3 Turbo as the go-to. The only thing I wanted to make sure, because we were considering this also for like Nativewind UI of like, again, some sort of collaboration there, but like, I want to make sure that it's not like overly opinionated and bloated with like different stuff. So maybe instead there's like a forked version that like just has less stuff in there than what it typically comes with. But anyways, I'll look into that with Zach Nugent, and we can figure some stuff out there that will also apply to Nativewind. And we can definitely open up a PR, obviously, to update their stuff to version 5.
Yeah. Are they
But yeah,
still running T3 Turbo out of Theo's Discord channel? We could probably just jump in there and chat to them about it as well.
I hadn't thought about that. I'm not sure. I can ask this guy though. I would
Okay.
imagine so. So, um, but yeah, so those are all things that I, want to make sure are working. I really want to make sure these installation docs are like properly functioning. Is this at a point where you feel like I could just like run through and have it like work as expected kind of thing? Um, or there's
I
still
haven't actually tested it
modifications?
out myself, so I need to go through.
No, it's fine. I can do that. Don't worry about that. I'd rather you spend time on these like any of the guides, or have have you moved over the stuff that you were writing in Discord, or are you just still in the process of
Still in the
moving that over?
process of doing
Okay.
all the docs
So then
work.
I'll run through all of these different iterations to make sure it works. And then I'll join you on uh that stuff. Um and I think that would be a better usage of time if you're cool with it.
Yep, that's
Um
cool. I'm hoping to just get up this last change of inline variables, and then publish everything up into the docs. So like once I get
okay.
that this feature, it should just be the doc stuff I need to do.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah,
But if
I
people
mean,
are listening and they do want to jump in early, like feel free to jump into our Discord channel. We do have a dedicated channel under the React Native CSS. Um, that repo is actually documented on how to get set up. It's not a stretch to get Tailwind working on top of that. Um, so if you are listening, feeling a bit adventurous, like some people have done it already, we're always happy to help you out there. But yeah, we'll get the official
yeah.
docs up as soon as
I've
possible.
I've also gone through the website PRs. I am next going to be going through the core issues and PRs. and aim is to definitely like clean it back up again. Yeah, so that's going to be into next week for me with respect to Nativewind stuff. Yeah. Vanja, the question regarding, are we missing anything from not having Nativewind installed along React Native CSS?
The big thing is, I can actually just link. It's just a couple of utility classes. So if you're using like the platform modifiers, for example, like iOS colon text red 500 to only do colored text on iOS, those sort of things are the things that you'll be missing. The only one thing that would break without it is the leading classes, which affect line height. But it's really just the things that Nativewind adds on, like the special classes, and the leading classes are the only things that break. But 99% of things should work without it, which is the big thing for this update.
Yeah, the stated goal of it.
Yeah. If you actually jump into the Nativewind repo, on the top level, there's a theme.css file. That's the things that Nativewind now adds. It's about 60 lines of code. It's mostly, ripples, elevations, corner styles, and platform modifiers.
These are going to be good things to sort of have as an FAQ. So Andre is asking if he can update to Nativewind version 5 and use React Native reusables, or if he has to wait till that is also updated to version 5. You're going to probably have to wait till that is updated. But I can't imagine it's going to be too substantial of a thing. I'll talk to Zach about it. But like our priorities are certainly like in getting Nativewind UI and React Native reusables up to date with the latest stuff. So yeah, I can chat with him about that later today or tomorrow. And then what else?
So I said I'll answer some other questions that I've had from people.
Yeah.
Will we support the new SVG animations from Reanimated? I didn't even realize this was a thing. This slipped by me until this question hit me. Yes, like we by default we just parse the styles and pass them to Reanimated. So as soon as Reanimated adds new features like SVG animations, we'll support them straight away as well. So that's a cool new thing for
Nice.
people doing SVGs. I think that's gonna be really good for like people with SVG icons and stuff like that. What was the other question that I wanted to answer as well? I'm trying to find out. Oh, do we have any liquid glass classes? At this stage, I don't know like what liquid glass entails. I don't think there's any like styles that are for liquid glass that the component just is like that. There's no sort of like appearance make this look like liquid glass. But we're kind of like looking on feedback on how people implement that. So at the moment, Expo's approach is it just has components and it just styled as liquid glass. There's something special about them. So it's just a
Well,
styling thing. But I think
I think
Core Stack just came out with some liquid glass stuff.
Beta just posted about Nishan's landing the Expo module Expo Glass Effect, which is based off of UI Visual Effect View. I don't know if that's.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
all
it's
these
literally
things are
today.
moving
You know what I
target.
mean? This is like this is moments ago, basically, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Marek, version 5 is like technically available now, but you'd have to kind of like jump in, be a little adventurous with it. We'll probably be publishing the docs within this next like week here. And so then you'll be able to follow those along and use it. Similarly, there's a migration guide. Mark, I was going to ask, is the migration guide, does that need to be updated with
Yeah, it
respect to
needs to
any?
be updated. I'll be
Okay,
updating that branch with the new migration stuff.
cool, cool. Yeah, so you can either follow a migration guide or start a new project via the installation page. But regardless, that should be available to you sometime like next week. Um, but yeah, looks like Nishan finally got some cool shit in. Thanks to them. I'm maybe everyone's like meeting up there. I have no idea what Callstack is doing with Liquid Glass. I haven't really seen any of their stuff. So
They just I'm not following the conference too much. I haven't had time, but I believe they just announced a new package at the conference.
gotcha. Okay.
And talking about the conference, apparently
Mhm.
React Native 1.0 is on the horizon. There was a talk at the conference as well. Have you watched that at all?
No, I haven't. I've been very
Okay.
preoccupied with some other stuff.
I would watch it, but I was asleep. That's on my to watch today.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. I don't know what the significance of 1.0 is. That means literally nothing. But
It makes
yeah, I feel
enterprises
like
happy.
Truth today is like right here. Basically, is just like 1.0 was the new architecture, and like to everyone else, it's just a marketing term. So like in every other respect, um, so like really, it doesn't mean anything. But maybe I'm missing something. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's all of what I think is coming down the pipeline. Um, Nothing really new on the Nativewind UI front just yet. But well, you know that liquid glass support is on its way. So yeah, unless we have other like version 5 related stuff, which I don't, then I think we can call it there at like 30 minutes.
Yep. And obviously keep an eye on that Twitter account. We'll start posting a bit more as these docs
Yes.
start getting merged.
Correct. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Like Mark said, look out for some more updates, and we'll see you in the next state of Nativewind.